What's going on, everybody? Smitty from around the 412 here. This is the first time of the 2024 cycle that we're doing a mock draft on the channel. 7-round Pittsburgh Steelers mock draft. We're not going to do trades this time around. We're going to have plenty of mock drafts throughout this cycle, trade up scenarios, trade down scenarios, all those things. Probably use different platforms as well. But we're using Pro Football Network for this one. It's been my favorite one to use. They actually just updated, prior to this draft cycle. So super clean version. If you're familiar with the site, if you ever did mock drafts on there in the past, you will definitely see and notice a difference on there with how smooth it is. So big fan of the update. I think it's really good. And this is also, keep in mind that this is pre-free agency. So we don't know exactly what boxes they're going to check in free agency prior to getting to the 2024 NFL draft next month. So we'll dive into it, see what we can do. But again, we're going to be at the mercy of the computers and we're not making any trades. So keep that in mind as we work through this. I'll share my screen. Let's get into it. Marvin at 1. All right, so the Bears are keeping Justin Fields in this scenario, I guess. Wow. That's actually, I've done some other mock drafts that I haven't recorded, obviously. Never seen that happen. So Rome falls all the way to 15. Oh, man, Terry and Arnold was one pick away from getting to us. And that's a trade that I would take if we were doing trades. Dang, man. That was super close. Like, look at these guys that just went right in. Mims and Arnold back to back. Gene could have been in play. Latham could have been in play, although I'm a little bit lower. Roma Dunze they met with, like the guys that went just before us, man. You wonder how aggressive the Steelers would get if the board started to fall like that after the top 10. Would they be looking to move up if one of those guys was sliding just to secure them? But with what's there, I feel like the decision for me is somewhat easy. I know they're looking at receivers early, like Brian Thomas Jr. Nate Wiggins, to me, not necessarily a scheme fit. I like the player, but zone heavy corner. You don't really see him come down and help out and run support much, or at least he hasn't been asked to do that at Clemson. So I question the fit quite a bit there. I know they met with Byron Murphy. Kool-Aid McKinstry, obviously dealing with the Jones fracture in his foot. I'm curious to see what that does to his stock. As you get further down here, Tyler Guyton stuff. But this one's easy for me. We're doing Jackson Powers Johnson, the center out of Oregon, to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm going to make a lot of people happy with that pick. I'm happy with that pick. I guess the question, right, is just, what are you doing about tackle then? Because it's a lot easier to find quality center play than it is, at one of your tackle spots. So you got Roger Jones there, obviously, but are you going to run back with Dan Moore? What it falls to round 2 for you? How do you attack the rest of your needs if that is the direction that you are going in the first round? So, but with what was left on the board, I feel like it was somewhat easy for me to make that decision. Oh man, Byron Murphy fell here. Jeez. I mean, that's got to be where we go, right? Certainly has the case to go defensive tackle, both sides of the trenches here early. Cam Hayward, not getting any younger. Larry Ogunjobi, to me, should be a cut candidate. I don't know if they necessarily would go that route. You obviously got a great rookie year out of Keanu Benton, but, what do you have next to him in terms of long-term developmental pieces? Byron Murphy, the second out of Texas, man. If for some reason he was still here at 51, how do you not do it? Oh man, like just for the sake of making an argument for some other guys, right? Ennis Rakestraw Jr. I think makes a ton of sense in terms of a pairing partner for Joey Porter Jr. on the outside. He's another guy that'll come up and hit you once they get in, play press man, come down and run support. Very physical corner, good size. Didn't necessarily run as well as I was hoping that he would, but he's just coming back from an injury. Malachi Corley could definitely be like the Cordero Patterson type in Arthur Smith's offense. Just get him the ball in a lot of different ways. Everybody's looking for a receiver like that. I really can't make the case for anybody else. Yeah, it's going to be Byron Murphy here. Zero shot that he's available at this pick. But again, at the mercy of the computer, we don't know what's going to happen. So he was available for us to take, and we're taking advantage of that. Some guys are sticking around here. Yeah, the receivers that I was looking at there just went. Except for one that I was looking at here. Oh, okay, this is a tough call. Jalen McMillan, wide receiver out of Washington, big fan of his game. Definitely higher on him than most people. The Steelers have met with him And this is like the perfect range for him, perfect range for the Steelers to take a receiver. Regardless of the Deontay Johnson stuff, independent of that, they need to get somebody else in here because Deontay could walk after next year, even if he is on the roster in 2024. And then you have another guy to just, drop in. He goes from the 3 receiver to the 2 receiver within this offense. Tez Walker, same type of deal, right? I mean, I don't unnecessarily know the Steelers' interest being as much as it is with Jalen McMillan, but Javon Bullard's still there, man. And I know they list him as a safety, but I think he'll be a nickel corner, basically, at the next level, or at least, see a lot of time in the slot. I think you could do a lot of different things with him. Chris Abrams drain, being that we haven't gone corner yet in either of our first 2 picks. I don't know that there's necessarily a tackle there that I'm loving. And I know I'm going to get a lot of crap for Renardo Green has shot up their rankings, by the way, here on Pro Football Networks. The last time I did one, he was at like 260. They got him at 92 now, and this feels very fitting for the player that he is because the tape certainly didn't match where he was before. This makes a lot more sense. So to me, it's between Jalen McMillan and Javon Bullard. Let me see. No, Sanders still didn't go. Do we take a chance and hope that like one of these corners falls to 120? What's there left at receiver that I could make a case for at 120? Brendan Rice potentially met with Taj Washington. Leak Washington as well. Johnny Wilson's massive. We're going Jalen McMillan. Yeah, I mean, Mike Sanders still would have been the other guy that I made a case for. Obviously, I love him. I think that he is value at this spot, not just um like you can justify it. I think it's actually the opposite. Like he should be gone way before this pick. To me, dang it, there he goes at 102. But you guys are seeing, the value that is here on day 2, and it's almost again. I'm going to do some exercises where I move down in round 1, pick up more round 2 capital, round 2 or 3 capital, because I just think that's where the value of this draft is going to be. Okay, back-to-back picks here in round 4. I think one of them's got to be a tackle prospect. Blake Fisher actually makes a ton of sense here. I don't know. He's not just start right away, but I think he is somebody down the line that could. So, to get him in round 4 here, I think that's good value. So he's going to be one of the picks here that I make. And then the second one, Cam Hart is still there, kind of the way I'm leaning right now. Let's see what else is there at corner. Daquan Hardy could definitely be a nickel at the next level. Jarvis Brownlee, pretty good Senior Bowl. Where did your Cam Hart? I think, a little bit of variance in his game, maybe some boomer bust. He takes a lot of chances, but you got a solid prospect on the outside there. You're loading up on guys that could potentially hit. Some lottery tickets, obviously with Corey Trice in tow, with Darius Rush here, and now with Cam Hart. Give those guys all a shot, make it a competition. Who's gonna come out on the other side better for it? That's kind of the way I'm looking at it. And still sign a vet, obviously, is kind of like your fallback option. I've thrown that scenario out there, but yeah, I mean, I think too good a value to pass up there for what he could potentially be at the next level. What else would we look at here? We could definitely bring a safety in. I don't know if there's a developmental quarterback because I just saw Joe Milton go. He would have been the one, maybe, right? Just because of the arm talent. I'm not sold on him becoming anything, but and I definitely don't think Pittsburgh is probably the place to get the most out of him with their quarterback development and the staff that's in place. We need a third running back, and Isaac Orendo definitely makes sense for them. Kind of the way I'm leaning right now. Let me see. Where do they have? Is he still down? Way down? No. Did he just go already? Where in the world? Oh, wow. Yeah, Deidrean Taylor Demerson was the guy I was looking for there. He went in round 4. He's another guy that must have shot up based off the combine and their rankings. Um, didn't take a linebacker either. They could certainly go that route if there's something interesting there. There's really not. Thomas Harper is interesting to me. We're gonna go running back. We're getting a third running back in here. I just think the value is there for him and not with anybody else. I know my guy Nick Faribault will be a fan of that pick for sure too. So I know I'm gonna get so much smoke in the comments about not taking a tackle earlier and kind of my approach to this. But again, with what's on the board and doing this pre-free agency, you kind of got to take into account, like in this case, maybe they're checking other boxes in free agency um, than what we think. So in linebacker and safety are spots where I would be checking in free agency as opposed to waiting till the draft. Ooh, okay. Hmm. Keith Slovis. Yeah. We're just gonna take a chance on speed here. Again, get another project corner in here. Excuse me. The Camarian Richardson's gonna be the pick. Ran a blazing 40, tested pretty well. And that's honestly all I'm banking on. He's not somebody that admittedly that I've watched a ton on. But I think his combine will get him drafted. So, in round 7 here, you're taking a chance. Feel like we check boxes throughout that allow us to just, swing on a 7th round lottery ticket. So here we go. Jackson Powers Johnson, Byron Murphy, Jalen McMillan, Blake Fisher, Cam Hart, Isaac Orendo, and then DeCamarion Richardson is how we fill out this draft. Let me know what you think. There's going to be a lot more of these. Like I said, we're going to have different approaches. We're going to do them on different sites. So the prospect rankings are going to be influenced, obviously, with the way that the computer picks. So these could look a lot different depending on what site you're using. But anyways, this is how it turned out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.